documentary movement barely missed a step with Grierson's resignation. Many of his disciples had already left the GPO film unit and were now scattered across Soho in small production houses. They sold their services to various private companies. The Orient Shipping Company, engineering giant Vickers Armstrong, BP, and Shell all commissioned documentaries from the former members of the GPO film unit. These documentaries were made outside the GPO, but inside the movement. The documentarists had been trained to celebrate the ordinary lives of working-class people. The private sector provided them with new opportunities to spread this message. Grierson was no longer the documentarists' boss, but he was still their prophet. The disciples had become apostles. In 1935, a privately sponsored film made here in London's East End led to a crucial advance in the documentary. 80 years ago, these houses were part of one of the most miserable slums in the world. The British Commercial Gas Association funded a documentary that would explain why the slums should all be knocked down. A gas company would do well out of the rebuilding programme.
A great deal of thought from architects, engineers and other experts has gone into the design of buildings for rehousing. Here is a model of a block of flats prepared by the British Steelwork Association and based on recommendations.
Housing Problems is a bit like a corporate video. It doesn't hold back as it celebrates the achievements of its sponsor.
The gas industry has designed suitable appliances for cheap cooking and for room and water heating, especially to meet the needs of slum clearance schemes.
But in the middle of Housing Problems, a new form of documentary bursts forth: the interview.
Now I've got a nice little place of my own. 3 bedrooms, a lovely scullery, a living room and a bathroom. The bathroom, the best of all, what we wanted, away from market orders.
It was John Grierson's sister Ruby who pioneered the interview. She was the uncredited assistant producer on Housing Problems, and she wrote to her brother saying,
I'm going to put up a camera and a microphone and I'm going to ask them questions. I'm going to tell them the camera is yours and the microphone is yours.
Ruby Grierson was undaunted by the cumbersome equipment she needed. She planned to take a sound truck and a lighting crew deep into the slums.
I'm going down to the East End and I'm going to love it there and get to know the people well.
It's rumoured that what Ruby Grierson said to the people she filmed was,
Here's the camera and the microphone. Now it's your chance to tell the bastards what it's really like to live in a slum.
It gets on your nerves, for everything's filthy. Dirty, filthy walls, and the vermin in the walls is wicked. So I'll tell you, we're fed up.
In Housing Problems, people are not just witnessed, they provide their own testimony. Thanks to the documentary movement, even those at the bottom of the pile now had a voice.
I don't suppose people realise what it really is to be tied up in the one room and cannot get anything any better. We are only hoping that the council will liven their ideas up and get their minds made up to get the flats ready so that every working class man will have a hygienic flat to live in.
In Housing Problems, slum dwellers, the lowest of the low, the dregs of society, speak. And it turns out they're just like everyone else.
Coming into these rooms, I've had no luck since I've been in. First I lost one youngster in one, then I lost another youngster in another one 7 weeks off.
Housing Problems shows how outside the government film unit, the movement continued to pursue their social purpose. In promotional films for private industry, they gave ordinary people a voice.
I couldn't open the windows to let any air in. Well, I can open all the windows now and let all the nice fresh air in the morning for the children, as my children's ever so much healthier and better.
You can't!
Meanwhile, back at the GPO film unit, things were getting rather silly.
What?
The glorious 6th of June was put out in 1934 to announce that the GPO charges were about to be reduced.
You don't say.
There seems little social purpose in this hokey-cokey nonsense. But the film stars a key player in the future of the movement. The hero, the determined postie,
I will, sir, for the honour of the GPO.
Is played by the man who would go on to become the most influential documentary maker in Britain, Humphrey Jennings.
Give them to me! Never!
Humphrey Jennings was first and foremost an artist who'd been introduced to the GPO film unit by his friend Stuart Legg.
He was constantly searching for juxtapositions which would mean something. Very curious pictures, some of them. Obviously, a great streak of his surrealist interest was there, but a lot of his pictures have this sort of smack about them, of searching for juxtaposition.
As well as being a painter, Jennings had been involved in mass observation. He had made a painstaking study of the everyday habits of British life. Jennings' observational experience, accompanied with his surrealist eye, would prove a potent mix when he began to direct documentaries. He would reveal ordinary life as it had never been seen on film before.